Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we're going to be responding to the controversy surrounding Summer Walker, her baby, and malnutrition.
We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
You start getting healthy and you just become a better person.
We need to start focusing more on the individual.
So, listen, y'all, today I had to bring the captain with me because we've got some crime fighting to do. There's a very famous artist by the name of Summer Walker who has come under fire lately because apparently she posted a photo or two of her baby, and people aren't really happy with the way the baby looks. Now, I'm not really one to get into a lot of this stuff, but today's a special day.
Basically, this girl Summer Walker. I'm not really sure who she is. I'm not really into mainstream music like that anymore. But she essentially showed a picture of her baby, which is pictured here. And you can see she didn't even show an actual picture of the baby, like the face. She's got this emoji over it. But people decided to comment on her baby's appearance anyway. So the article says, earlier this week, singer-songwriter Summer Walker trended on social media after sharing a set of photos of herself holding her infant daughter. Now, we're going to get more into this here in a second, but it does say that the daughter is an infant. She kept the child's face covered as she has kept her hidden from the view since her daughter was born late March. I'm assuming late March is late March of 2021, because I'm assuming this is all very recent. Someone can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but so let's just assume late March. So the baby is very, very young. It's an infant, but that didn't keep people from speaking on the baby's appearance. So the images grabbed a lot of attention as people had things to say about the baby's weight, questioning what the star was feeding the child and exposing and expressing some concern as well as some cruelty in their comments. Walker responded by making it clear that she wouldn't be sharing her daughter with the public in the future. So people were being people, right? We're talking about the internet here. She said, y'all, so this is what people ask her. Post the baby, we want to see. Okay, so people want to see the baby, so they've been asking her to post pictures of the baby. And then she said, also, y'all, roasting a baby whose face you can't even see. LOL, make it make sense, she wrote in her Instagram story. In conclusion, MFers is weird, and I will never post a picture of my baby, so stop asking. So later on down here, she talks about the nourishment, right? So when it comes to nourishment for kids, she has called out the traditional diets people have for their babies in the past and advocates for making formula from scratch if women aren't able to breastfeed. She took to Instagram before to say fruits and vegetables for children is the best way to go. And then she went on to say, y'all weird for giving babies that processed government-ish. Throw some real fruit and veggies into a blender and give it to them, she wrote. All right, so basically she's saying that she advocates for fresh fruits and vegetables, you know, blend up some fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that instead of using maybe like Gerber baby food, just baby food in general, as well as Similac. So that's pretty much the whole of the story as far as I know it.
Okay, so after checking out this article and kind of digesting exactly what's going on here, here's my response. The baby in question is less than 3 months old. I mean, based on the article, they said the baby was born late March. Okay. So if we just count, let's just say April, May, June. Okay. The baby is less than 3 months old. Um, With that being said, the photo that you all saw, like, it's an infant, y'all. I don't know. I don't know if the baby it was premature at all. Like I don't know any of that. But from what I can tell, the baby's leg looks like a normal infant baby's leg. The problem is we are so used to our babies coming out the womb being bloated and inflamed like we are, that we then want to uh, make it seem like she's doing something wrong. Now, when she followed up talking about what she's actually feeding the baby, it's no wonder the baby is thin. We just did this video, what, 2 weeks ago, talking about the unsung epidemic. It's probably not the best way to say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? We've got an epidemic in this country. It's called obesity. No one's talking about it. It's affecting the African-American community at higher rates than, other communities, and specifically the women of the community, right? So I talked about that. Now here you have a young copper woman who is talking about how, she's feeding her baby fruits and vegetables, things that we promote on this channel as being optimal for just for food. And you all are surprised, or some people, I should say, because I don't even know that my community even is in this at all. But some people are surprised that the baby is thin. Yeah, why wouldn't it be? I mean, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 6'6" and probably 195 pounds. I'm right at the bottom of the average weight. So when you look at like what's a quote unquote healthy weight range for people my height, I'm right at the lowest. And you all have seen me lower plenty of times. I always ask this question: what is the increased risk of mortality for being quote unquote underweight? Most of us aren't even really underweight. We're just a normal weight. But in America, because we are so obese, because we're the most obese nation in the world, now, of course, we say, oh, you're too skinny, you're malnourished, blah, blah, blah. If that woman is feeding her baby fresh fruits and vegetables that she blends up and makes a quote unquote baby food out of, or if she's making a formula from scratch using whole foods, then the baby is nourished. What the baby isn't is the baby is not going to be dealing with inflammation. All of those issues that babies have, mostly related to like not being able to completely evacuate their bowels, being all backed up and congested, and just starting the baby off just really uncomfortable, always having those bloated stomachs, things of that nature. That's what the baby's not going to have. And so because the baby doesn't have all those health issues, the baby isn't all swollen and puffed up like we typically see American babies. And make no mistake, listen, there's no shade one way or the other, okay? I'm just looking at this situation logically. And the reality is there's nothing wrong with that baby. That baby looks like an infant. It looks like a normal baby. If you think about animals in nature, when their babies come out, they're frail looking. Why? Well, do you want to push a big old baby out of your vagina? Like, is that what y'all want to do? Having 8-pound babies coming out your vagina, that doesn't sound pleasant. Now, I'm not saying that you can't push out a large, healthy baby or whatever the case may be, but I'm sure that the average size of our babies in America are much bigger than our counterparts in other countries. Especially if you look at some of the smaller people in the world. I'm almost certain, without even looking at the numbers, that we are pushing out, on average, much bigger babies. And that's because of our diets, and our diets affect our babies, the growth of our babies, and things like that. So not only does she probably have a little bit better, easier birth just because she's pushed out a smaller baby, but I mean, that's just the size of it. She's an infant. She's not even 4 months old, from what I can gather. Once again, I could be wrong. I didn't do a ton of research into this. I'm really just kind of reacting to the article and the Instagram posts and some of the things I've seen people say. They're all over her. They're all over her social media talking about feed your baby and all this nonsense. And it's crazy because what she's giving her baby is probably the most optimal food. I mean, I don't know, I'm not there, but based on what she's talking about, she's making it sound like she's feeding her baby optimally. And she's absolutely right, right? If you're one of the mothers who cannot breastfeed or whatever due to health implications, which that's what AHA is here for, like, let's get you healthy and let's get you to a place where you can provide for your baby properly. But let's just say you're not in that place because you've already had the baby and, then yes, why wouldn't it make sense to make a plant-based milk or whatever the case may be to support and nourish the development of your child? Like that goes hand in hand with what we teach on this channel. Remember, we had when we had Chef Kepra on, we talked about the benefits of coconut water. Did y'all know that you can use coconut water instead of breast milk? Like, you can use coconut water instead of breast milk if your baby is having issues with latching on or if you're not producing enough or whatever the case may be. You might be able to sneak a little bit of coconut water into your baby's breast milk if you pump. So if you're not pumping enough or whatever the case may be, you can increase the volume by adding a little breast milk to it. By adding a little coconut water to your breast milk, right? It's just an amazing alternative. Now, let me be clear. When I'm talking about coconut water, I'm talking about like going and get you a coconut, crack it open, and then add it to the breast milk, right? But the baby will respond really, really well to that. And there's a lot of nutrition and there's so much good stuff in just coconut water. And it's easy for the baby to digest. And it has that hint of sweetness that the breast milk would naturally have. So it's a great alternative. But we look at the fact that the babies aren't all thick and plump. And of course, that's what a lot of our physicians are telling us. Oh, the baby's underweight. Oh, how many people message me asking me, worried about their baby's weight, thinking that their baby is underweight or whatever the case may be. And the reality is the baby is just a normal weight, right? Oftentimes these situations, the baby is just simply a normal weight, but society has an idea in their mind of what the weight of a baby should be. And that's based on the fact we're the most obese country in the world. So we have to be able to put things in perspective. Y'all leave that woman alone. Like, if any of her fans are watching this or whatever the case is, or maybe you just looked at the article and maybe you thought, oh yeah, that baby looks malnourished. The baby is not necessarily malnourished, We're just really overweight. That's all. So it's just interesting that people would talk stuff about somebody and without even really understanding it, just making assumptions. And then, Summer's right. She's talking about how a lot of people are feeding their baby this government issued Similac and, all of this nonsense and stuff. And I understand there's a lot of people out there that just simply don't know any better. But if you're listening to this and you're one of the people who didn't know better, it's time to research. Because I'm telling you from my own research and what I have actually seen, that stuff is very toxic for the system. It's no different from the food we eat. Processed foods are not good for human beings or any creature, honestly. Let's look at dogs. Why is it that the dogs that we have, the domesticated dogs, have so many problems? But wild dogs, wolves, and other type of canine creatures, they don't have the types of issues that our dogs that we keep in our house have. Why? Because you feed them dog food. Well, what is that? It's a processed food. It's garbage. That's the reason why you have these startup companies now that are promoting these healthy dog foods and, these gourmet dog foods and things like that. Because dogs really should be, they should be eating table food. They should be eating what you're eating, and you should be eating whole foods, not processed foods, or if nothing else, if they're in the wild, then they're going to hunt rats and, whatever they eat, and it'll be fine because they're eating, their natural food or whatever that might be. But we got to wise up because this is crazy and people are going hard on her. And, I don't know if anybody's advocating for her, but, yo, Summer, I don't know you. I don't really know anything about you, but from this snapshot of your picture, or from this snapshot of your life, I could tell you you are doing things correctly. So keep doing it. Stay strong. I don't think you need my encouragement. You obviously have done some research. You know some things. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody dissuade you. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Did something a little bit different today. If you really enjoyed it, give me that thumbs up. Maybe that'll, encourage me to do more similar things. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see y'all next time.